Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Torin here, and today, guys, I'm here with another Total War Warhammer live BattleCast. So this is yet another game where I forgot to turn on my mic, so you guys are in for a treat. You get to skip that whole loading screen and get right to the business. So I'm actually playing against the Dwarfs, and I'm trying a really haggard build that I've been having a ton of fun with lately. It's Sigvald's Marauder Hordes. So the entire front line is just Marauders with great weapons, led by the Prince himself, Prince Sigvald. He's ready to party. He's got his Auric armor for regeneration. I also do have three groups of Chaos Trolls who actually aren't terrible against the Dwarfs, but they do go down incredibly quickly to focus fire. So one of the downsides there, but guys, it is really fun. And the other thing you do with this build is you get the pendulum, the penumbral pendulum, as well as the pit of shades, and you just like surprise them with the AoE, because again, dwarves usually don't expect that, so hopefully we can catch them off guard. We did get a hell cannon as well, because why not? Hell cannons are super fun. So we're gonna get it here. Again, more of a casual build, but it can win. It can win, guys. It's not terrible at all. I mean, you have a ton of AP, and something that's really fun to do is like send Sigvald in, after runesmiths, or even send him in alone against like a big blob, and then use like a fat pit of shades right on top of him. It's super fun. So yeah, let's see how it goes. We do have the Marauder Horsemen, because again, if you don't like at least check the air, a single gyrocopter can really punish you and shut down your hell cannon, focus down your trolls. So it's really good to just have some sort of anti-air, unless you're just, have a very heavy Chaos Warrior, type army. That's not really going to get punished by it. But this army certainly will with the Chaos Trolls, because again, they only have, what is their leadership? 38. So what's really rough about these guys is if they get like targeted by like, an artillery piece or rear charge, they pretty much just rout like instantly. It's pretty funny. But the Marauders do okay. They trade somewhat even pretty well with Dwarf Warriors and things like that. Granted, they actually trade well with the Great Weapons, so with Longbeards as well. So not terrible. I mean, they're not a good unit. Let's just be real here. For like 500 resources, you can get like Eternal Guards that have like armor piercing and like 90 leadership. And then for the Chaos gets this, but it is what it is, guys. So let's go ahead and get this Hell Cannon ready to party. Let's move it over here just a little bit. No, it looks like the Dawi, they have a box formation, so they're probably like expecting chariots and things like that, which is hilarious, but this is really going to get punished by the Hell Cannon stuff. So, okay, so it looks like he has some Thunders in here, so we're going to go ahead and move up on the side, just get ready to go, and oh man, this is going to be so funny for the Pendulum if I'm able to get it off, but you can see, oh, please don't hit the tree. Okay, so it goes through the tree, which is good, and yeah, oh, come on, get in there. Okay, so we hit his artillery piece, which isn't the best, so he might focus it. Looks like he might just leave it alone. So we're going to get these guys and start throwing in on some of these great weapons over here. And again, he was probably expecting traditional Chaos Armor, but no, guys, he is in for a treat today. So let's go ahead and just start poking away at these guys. Let's actually get the hammers. That's going to be sweet. So yeah, it looks like he's shooting at some of my great weapons here, but oh, look at that hit. Oh, man, that is so sweet. And these guys with their AP, they'll actually do some good damage. I mean, look at these hammers get poked down. So yeah, guys, the Marauder Hordes are advancing. It's time to party. So we're going to kind of just swarm in on the front lines like pretty aggressively here. We'll get one around the side here. We'll get these guys kind of coming over here. And yeah, so we're just going to save up Winds of Magic so we can get like a few Pit of Shades off. Just keep firing in. We didn't need to use blood, but it's very fun to click it. So the trolls are going to take some heavy focus fire, which is a little bit unfortunate. And you can see we're actually getting some good kiting here. So these guys are actually getting isolated. So we want to run these guys up and around. We're going to kind of come around the back like so. The Marauders are going to intercept them, and let's see if we can slip these Marauders through here too. And oh, look at that hit there. That was nice. So we want to make sure the trolls are all fighting. We can get them in here. The trolls can kind of work their way through here and work through here. So he was definitely expecting some armor, which is pretty hilarious. So these guys can come around here. Let's get these guys kind of just chucking in on these Iron Breakers here, which obviously they're very tanky, so it's not going to be the best, but we can work them down. They're an expensive unit. So we're going to use the leadership buffs. It appears the trolls are doing pretty well, and guys, it is judgment time. It's Gotham's reckoning. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited for this right now. This is making the whole cast worth it right here. So you guys ready? The dwarves are not used to this. So man, they're just getting tugged in there. It's not doing like a ton of damage, but guys, it is a morale. We're sending a message right now, and oh, the Hell Cannon just like lands right on top of that, which is great. So Sigvald, he's doing pretty good in here. He's very resilient. He doesn't have a ton of AP, but look how well these Marauders with great weapons are trading with the Dwarf Warriors on the outside. Again, these Marauder Horsemen here aren't having the best time against them, but they're still doing damage against Iron Breakers, which I can't complain. The trolls are shaken, but with their Lord Sigvald nearby, they're not in the worst shape here. So we're going to keep shooting in here, and you know what? Let's have some fun, guys. Let's get in here, do a little bit of this, a little bit of this. I've never done this before, so bear with me here. So, okay, so you kind of go up and down a little bit. So, come on. We got to get there. Where are we even going? Okay, we're going deep. Oh, no. Oh, steer it up a little bit. Come on. Oh, God. We just hit our own Marauders. That's so terrible. Okay, so we're back over here now. The trolls are back in action. We have these guys. We got to make sure to put them in skirmish mode so they kite, and we did it, guys. So I hope you guys enjoyed Sigvald's Haggard Marauders, his Marauder Hordes. I mean, the trolls just beat the shit out of his front line. We got a nice Pit of Shades. The trolls are pretty like scary when they're like kind of in tandem with overwhelming numbers like that. So You know, it looks like my opponent was expecting a traditional army. I mean, he brought a ton of armor piercing, and you know, the hammer is just like extremely inefficient fighting against fodder units and trolls, and you know, pretty cool with the organ guns though. It's definitely fun. So, you know what, guys, we're gonna make this a double cast. Let's go ahead and do it because again, that game was pretty quick, and you know, I don't know, he didn't bring a runesmith or anything like that, so I don't think, you know, because most dwarf players who have played quite a few games, he might have been new to the game, I'm not sure, will bring a runesmith. Although, you know, the build wasn't terrible. The organ gun positioning was a little bit awkward. They were kind of just getting obstructed. And I mean, they got like a few volleys off on, you know, some of my Chaos Marauders, but that's a pretty inefficient use of them. So, but I really like bringing the Hell Cannon. It's super fun. Sorry, I'm just sipping my tea here. But yeah, that was actually the first time that I've ever actually manually aimed one in an actual game. So I just killed like probably like 30 of my own Marauders. So it looks like we found a match here. We're fighting Artemis and Trary, the assassin from the Dragonlance, I think is what it's called. So we're going to go with Chaos again, guys. We're making Chaos great again in this cast. And you know what? We're going to go with Prince Sigvald. It's his turn. He deserves some glory here. So let's see who my opponent picks. Sigvald's fun. He's very good. Like, I always rag on him and talk about how trashy he is. And he's not the best. I mean, Kolek can make such a big difference in battles. But Sigvald, you know, and a lot of players, you know, play like hero sniping builds with Prey of an Athrama and FG of to get and things like this. So having someone who's extremely resilient to hero sniping is pretty strong. So let's go ahead and see what my opponent's going to do here. Artemis and Trary. I think that's how you say his name. But yeah, for any of you guys that haven't read it, oh, and look at that lock in there. That's pretty aggressive. So we're going to get some Aspiring Champions. We're going to get some, let's just get Forsaken. Let's just get a bunch of Forsaken. He might bring the armor piercing, the Bestigor. So we're going to bring 4 of those guys. We're going to bring some Trolls because we're going full on like Haggard Sigvald army today, guys. It's going to be great. So what else do we want to get? We have quite a bit of resources left. We could just get a fat giant because again, the Beastmen missiles are pretty sad. So let's get that. And then we can also get some Poison Warhounds to like chase down anything in the wing. So oh, we don't have any Lures of Magic, though. I was like wondering what was the big expense we were missing. Do we even want to get Magic? We could just go full. Metal would be like really just going into the pits of just awfulness. You know, I feel like we do need it. So let's go Shadows again. Let's go ahead and get rid of these abilities. Oh, man, we don't have much time. So we're going to get Pit of Shades. And we're also going to get the Mind Razor because Pit of Shades is so much fun. So we have about 1,000 resources left. So we could get like a Manticore or something. I feel like that's okay. Why not? We're just doing ridiculous builds right now anyway. So cool. Let's give it a try and see if we can take on good old Artemis. So Forsaken, pretty good. You know, they can get run over by, you know, cycle charging and things like that. Granted, they do well against pretty much all Beastmen units with the exception of Bestigors. So I'm hoping that the Marauders in tandem with the Trolls can deal with the Bestigors and then the Forsaken can outclass, you know, everything else essentially. Also, Sigvald, he can take a huge beating. Oh, hopefully I got the Auric Armor. If I forgot that, he's just basically a piece of shit lord. Like, just terrible. So I think I got it. I think I did. So let's hope for the best. That's like, that would be so bad. And I feel like it's like my instinct to do that as soon as I click him. So let's hope for the best, guys. Let's see. So I also have a Manticore just in case he got some like Harpy funny business. So, okay, so I did get the Auric Armor. That would have been really depressing. So Aspiring Champions are pretty decent here. They're basically like mini Chosen. They're very, very good stats. So let's go ahead and maybe we do a little bit of this. So let's actually do a little bit of saturation with Chosen, or excuse me, with the Forsaken, and put them in the line. I normally don't put Forsaken in the front lines, but we're actually going to try it and see how it works out. So let's put some Trolls here. Let's put some Trolls here, like so. Let's get the Aspiring Champions. So it's a pretty scary little Chaos Force, and we also have some encouragement there with the Aspiring Champions. Granted, I don't think it stacks with like Sigvald's, but you know, if something happens, I have some extra, so can't complain. We're going to put these guys in the wings here, these guys in the wings here. And I actually did cut the Hound, so that's a little bit of a bummer. But we do have this Lure of Shadows. So he's in for a treat. We do have the Mind Razor, so we can AoE cast that. And then, you know, I'll probably just cast like a Pit of Shades and then the Mind Razor, and that'll be it for the game. So yeah, let's see how this build goes. Definitely having fun exploring the meta with like Trolls and weird units like that. So looks like he did bring some Bestigors. He's got some Chaos Hounds, but I mean, they're not really going to be good against anything I have. I mean, they'll be good at chasing down my routing Marauders. So he's got a Gorbel. He's got a Bray Shame with Lord of Death. It looks like he does have Spirit Leech, so that's Sigvald's like a hard counter to Spirit Leech. He can just like tank that all day. He was probably expecting like Kolek or Arcan or something. And of course he has Morkur, the Shadow Gave. This is a ladder game, so people are always gonna, you know, pick him. There's no reason to pick the other lords unless you're just doing it for shenanigans. So I actually think my trollish little army here is gonna be, you know, a little unusual, catching people off guard. Chaos is fun. They're a cool faction. I mean, they have a lot of neat units. Marauders are pretty trashy, you know, for how much you're paying. But still, you know, they have 35 move speed, or 38 right now when buffed, it looks like, from Smoke and Mirrors. That's right, so Lure of Shadows makes me even faster, guys. So we're going to fly above, see if we can find any hidden Ungor treats over here. And yeah, it looks like, okay, so he does have some missiles, so we're just going to kind of loop around here. But, I mean, honestly, the missiles aren't really going to be a threat. So we're going to engage on the front line, then we're going to wrap the Forsaken around the backs and try and get into some of the softer areas. Because those missiles will do okay against Marauders and things like that. So let's go ahead and just get ready to charge in, guys. So we're going to go in pretty hard here. We're just going to go hard in the paint, see what we can do. We get these guys on the Gorble, these guys going over here. These guys can kind of go up and around the flank. We can get these guys here. Let's go up and around over here. Prince Sigvald, we want to send in there as well. And let's get this Manticore over there to start shutting down those, you know, those what's it called? The missile. So cool. So the trolls, it's really, really important you get them on like armored targets. So we want to just like push them through onto those Bestigors and make sure they're like hitting the goodies. So let's keep these guys around here. The Lord of Shadow Sorcerer, we can kind of just hang tight. So okay, so the battle's developing. We got some good engagements. These guys are going to get through. Let's just push through and just get these guys on the Gorble. Just be really, really aggressive with the Forsaken and just shred those. Oh, those Ungor Raiders are just doomed. They're just straight up doomed. So we're going to use just a fat erect Mind Razor to just give us a huge buff here. That's going to be really nice. These Forsaken are going to tear apart those spears. So you can see I have Manticores and Forsaken on his missiles. So those things are just going to get taken out of existence. They're going to get wrecked. So Sigvald in here taking a little bit of damage, but he's doing okay. We also do have the trolls fighting on the Bestigors, if I'm not mistaken. So let's actually pull the trolls back, because again, it looks like they did get enveloped with spears a little bit. So we're going to push in here. We're going to push these guys through here as well. And Sigvald's just continuing to do his thing. So the Forsaken back here, really, really doing some serious damage in the back. You know, and over here, they're obviously going to overwhelm those spears, which is nice. So we do have a Pit of Shades. I'm contemplating where I want to use it. This is actually a pretty healthy little pocket of beasts right here. So we're going to pop that. The troll's definitely faltering a little bit, but that's okay. So let's pull them back and out. Let's make sure to get this Sorcerer fighting. We get a nice Pit of Shades right on top of some of his infantry. And these Forsaken, though they are like taking casualties, they seem to be doing pretty well over there. So yeah, over here, Morker and the guys are definitely putting up a good fight. So we're going to form a bit of a Death Star. These guys over here are trading well. And unfortunately, the Gorherds did get matched up against Marauders, which is a very favorable matchup for the Marauders. So cool. So we're just going to form a bit of a Death Star, see what we can do. That Bracian with the Lore of Beasts, pretty scary. So we do get those missiles off the battlefield. So we're going to pull the Manticore back. In Lore of Shadows, we definitely want to keep them alive and kind of see what we can do with that. Let's kind of just get everyone high and tight and just finish off these Minotaurs with the great weapons, because they are somewhat squishy. So unfortunately, the Spirit Essence of Chaos just coming in hard here, but we should be able to just finish off his Minotaurs. And actually, let's get the Trolls fighting on the Gorble. And we also do have another Troll coming back, so we can send those after the Bestigors. And it looks like in the back line, we're able to just clean up shop. So that's good. So I do want to run my Sorcerer away. I don't want him to die, because I would like to get like one more Pit of Shades or an Occam's Mind Razor or something, you know, really, really, really powerful before the game's over. Balance of Power is pretty heavily in my opponent's favor, but yeah, we're still in it, I think. Sigvald's in good shape. We have some strong infantry, give or take, coming back. You know, it's going to be tough. Yeah, so we route his back line pretty effectively. So we're going to pull these guys back in. Let's actually just keep the Forsaken kind of chasing missiles and trying to, you know, get that balance of power a little more in our favor. And we're just going to kind of wait for a Pit of Shade. So it does cost 14, but it shouldn't be that much longer. Sigvald, we want to use the leadership buffs and also retreat him a little bit, because my opponent is trying to snipe him pretty aggressively. So we get some trolls in here. We don't have too many troops left in this like main fight, which is a little bit disconcerting. So we're going to send our Manticore after that Shaman right there. It'll be pretty good versus the Chariot. And over here, you can see these Forsaken are really generating a lot of value. So Sigvald, we're kind of pulling him back a little bit, trying to kite away. I want to use the Pit of Shades, but we do have an Arcane Conduit coming up relatively soon, which is going to be good. So let's get these guys going over here. Just kind of run over here and see what we can do. Sigvald's able to kite, which is nice. But unfortunately, like the Trolls, and oh my goodness, look at that thing just flying out of there. So we will have a Pit of Shades in a few seconds. If we can keep this fighting like concentrated in here, that would be really nice. But I don't know if we're going to be able to. So let's actually pull back a little bit, just kind of kite away. Oh man, but Sigvald's just getting run over right now. So over here on the far side, we do have these Forsaken who are doing pretty well for us. So we'll keep them fighting. But Sigvald is having a lot of trouble just getting kind of like run over, unfortunately. So we do have this Arcane Conduit. So yeah, let's go ahead and just pop it here, see if we can get him fighting. And it's not looking terribly well. So guys, that build didn't work so well against the Beastmen. The Trolls were just terrible. I mean, they routed so quickly and just got focused down. And, you know, the Manticore was okay. I think we might have over-pressured his missiles. We probably should have just ignored him. But the Marauders were pretty inefficient. They got outclassed by the Gors, and it just didn't work out as well. But it was definitely a fun match, so well played to my opponent. So let's do one more, guys. We're going to treat you with a triple cast. But, yeah, exploring new Chaos builds, trying to have some fun here. But I really want to make Marauders work. Beastmen was a bad matchup for that, I think. Yeah, because basically he was able to kill them very quickly with the high DPS of the Gors and things like that. Well, quote-unquote high. And then, of course, you know, the Trolls just got focused down by missiles, and the Minotaurs with great weapons with the anti-large really, really just, you know, put us in a can. So that was very tough. So, all right, game 3, guys. So let's go ahead. We're on the Marbod's Tomb. So we're actually going to go ahead and play. Who do we want to play here? So he's going to play the Beastmen again, which is fine. I'm A-okay with that. Let's go ahead and play. Do we want to play the Vampire Counts? You know what? We haven't played Vampires in a while, so Vampires are going to be tough for my opponent for sure. I think Vampires are pretty good against Beastmen. So, do we want to get Isabella von Karstein, or do we want to get Manfred? Let's get Lady Karstein. We'll put her on Hell Siege. Just again, she's going to have some pretty good healing capabilities as well. We'll go ahead and get the Blood Chalice, and okay, so that should be fine. She does have Master Beguilement as well. So, aside from that, we can go ahead and do we want to get Frontline of Graveguard again? Even against like heavy armor piercing, they're incredibly resilient if you have a Mortis Engine. So we're going to get the Claw of Nagash. We're going to get some Blood Knights. We're going to get the Dire Pack. And do we want to even get Cryptors? I mean, some armor piercing's nice. I feel like, yeah, we should at least get a group of those. So we're also going to get, do we want to get a White King? We could. So let's get a White King. I normally don't get them, but again, we're experimenting with new builds tonight, guys. So we're going to get a White King here. We want some Skeleton Spears because, again, they can bring like large units and can be very, very spooky in that respect. And you know what? I feel like a Banshee would be really fun. So let's actually get a Banshee, cut the Slippery. That'll kind of give us a little extra dough here. And yeah, so basically we got a very like hero-heavy army so that we're going to see if that like synergizes well with, you know, with Lady Karstein's Blood Chalice. Because again, it's like a massive heal, so we're going to see how it works out. Oh, we put her on a Barded Nightmare, so we probably want to get her up in the air, actually, if possible. So I don't know, we could cut at this point. So we could cut these, maybe. So let's cut these guys. Let's put her on the expensive mount, if we can. And then we'll just get like some regular Direwolves or something, which should be fine. So we are missing out on the anti-large a little bit, but I think it should be fine. So it's a bit of a traditional army that I usually bring, but with a little bit of a spin on it. The one concern, I suppose, if he's probably not going to like spam Harpies or something. So yeah, front line's going to be incredibly tanky. He might just try and over pursue us with the Gorbel and like get on top of that Mortis engine. But again, we have Blood Knights, we have Cryptors to peel, we have Skeleton Spears. It's a pretty tough matchup for the Beastmen. Although the Spirit Essence of Chaos is like, because a lot of times Vampire Count's units do linger on like a very low kind of a, what's it called? A very low HP plateau, but they just keep healing. And maybe if he can get that Spirit Essence on like a really powerful unit like the Stearnsman or something else, I don't know, my Blood Knights, if he gets like good burst damage, that could be pretty game changing for sure. But Lady Karstein's pretty scary for sure. That self heal is very, very potent. Again, she reaches her healing cap very fast though. That's one thing to consider. So what's cool though is you don't have to like worry about using like healing herself. You can kind of use the heals on other units. So but yeah, so the first game was pretty fun against the Dwarves, but again, I think we're going against a new player. Marauder builds aren't terribly competitive. I think they're pretty terrible, to be honest. As you guys saw last game, like the Marauder front line just got crumbled by the Beastmen pretty aggressively. I don't know what I could have done differently. I think the Trolls were probably one of the contributing reasons to the loss. I think if we honestly just had like some Chaos Warriors in there instead, like it would have been a much longer, closer game. But yeah, our Marauder line just faltered, and then the Trolls got isolated, and we just didn't have a strong pocket fighting, really. I actually think I'm playing against the same guys last game, so we'll see if this build's not like... I would say it's maybe semi-competitive. So yeah, maybe even competitive. We'll see. You know, Vampire Counts builds, I mean, this has a lot of the standard pieces of a competitive Vampires build. It has like a tanky front line. It has spears to protect your flanks. The Mortis engine is very, very tough for the Beastmen to kill. I mean, granted, they might have like Ungor Raiders or something, but Lady Karstein can simply just like fly over those and, you know, just do whatever she pleases. So good. So we're going to have the White King and the boys in group 2. Let's get the Cryptors back here as well. Just do this. But again, I just want to test the Blood Chalice and see how effective it is with like an army with a lot of heroic units. So we'll put her in group 3, and yeah, we're good to go. And also, I think the Banshee is going to be pretty good. The Beastman, what units does Morker do magic damage? I don't think he does. I think he just does poison, so we should be okay. But it's really nice. She's basically like a flying Vlad. She has Master of Beguilement. She's not quite as tanky, if I'm not mistaken. What's her armor, actually? Yeah, so, well, 80 armor is pretty good, actually. Jeez. So 400 weapon strength. She does have the Blood Chalice, which greatly replenishes the hit points of a hero unit. So it can hit the White King as well as the Banshee. So healing on ethereal units is very cost effective. So what's nice is the Terror, too. That's going to be pretty good once the Frenzy wears off on a lot of my opponent's units. And, you know, Frenzy mechanic is pretty weak against Vampire Counts. Like, it struggles, for sure. Because, again, the leadership's going to get hit by the fear of your front line. And, you know, there's a lot of units that cause fear and terror and things like that. And also being able to summon zombies behind your opponent's front line is pretty strong, guys. So about 18 seconds left. I don't know what kind of shenanigans he has planned, but we'll find out. We will find out, my friends. But maybe a Cygor, that would be kind of cool to see a Cygor in action. But Blood Knights are pretty good against Cygors. They can just ride them down pretty easily. A lot of people make the mistake of like not advancing your Cygor once the fighting starts. And oh, maybe that's what I'll do in the next game. Is okay. It looks like he's deploying in the forest, which if anything isn't like terrible for me. So you know what? Let's play his game. Let's do this forest stuff, guys. Let's get in there and just do our thing. So we're gonna fly over with Lady Karstein and kind of scout things out. So it looks like he's got some Centaurs with great weapons against my Blood Knights. He's got Lore of Death, Morgher. Somewhat similar build. He does have a Giant back there as well, and Giants have pretty much become a meta staple against Vampire Counts because you don't have the focus fire, right? You don't have the missiles or things like that, so it's very, very tough to kill them. So what you do is you just play defensively and kind of focus them down with spears and Blood Knights and things like that. Granted, that's the only way Chaos can really beat Vampires, in my opinion, is if you use a really effective Giant play. So we're gonna fly over, see if he has any Ungors. I presume he probably does. Although his army's pretty small, so maybe he doesn't have like Ungors. He's got a Gorbel back there. A lot of good stuff. I never like fighting in the forest for for your guys' sake. You know, it's kind of like it's just hard to watch. So he uses a Spirit Leech, which, you know, punishing me a little bit for coming in there, but I don't mind. I'm probably just going to fly back to the Mortis Engine and use the healing there, but that actually hit me pretty hard. Does she have self-heal? Yeah, I don't know, but I do have the Blood Chalice coming up in a little over a minute, so we're just going to fly here and just get on top of that dude right there, and we do have the trees disabled, which is okay, so we should be able to see what's going on for the most part. But all right, Artemis. It's time. Artemis Centraria was a very annoying character in the Dragonlance. Like he always gets away from Dritz. Like Dritz might have almost bested him, or, you know, Artemis almost bests Dritz, and then like they never can quite kill each other. And it's just like, God, kill that guy already. Give us a new villain, you know. So he's coming around the back here, which is going to be a pretty risky little proposition. I mean, Blood Knights and Hounds, as well as a White King, should be able to just like outclass that group pretty horribly. So we're just going to kind of keep riding around, just doing our thing, having some fun. It looks like he is indeed coming around the back, so I'm not sure what kind of funny business he has going on. So we're just going to get our formation high and tight. I should have brought like Winds of Death or something fun just to entertain you guys. So the Bray Shaman's coming in pretty hot. We're definitely going to try and get Spirit Leech. So yeah, Spirit Leech wasn't that effective against Sigvald. So that was like one nice thing about last game. And it looks like he's using some sort of a Fate of Buna or something. Oh no, he's getting a Spirit Leech on the Banshee, which is going to be really good. So well played to my opponent for that. But again, guys, we are going to use the Blood Chalice, and hopefully I'll be able to show off its efficacy here on this Banshee. So although the Banshee honestly is just getting healed by the Mortis Engine, it looks like right now. So I don't know if we even want to or need to pop the Chalice. I guess we could. So we're going to get Lady Karstein over there. We're just going to kind of keep our cav like high and tight and just keep pushing up, trying to stay tight so he can't, you know, so he's not rewarded for his mobility. That's essentially what we really want to do, is take away the mobility of the Beastmen and force him into a head-on fight with vampire counts, which, you know, generally spells doom. So he does have a Gorbel and some other funny business coming here. So let's go ahead and just kind of get ready to engage here. We'll get these guys kind of going over here, and we'll get these guys going over here. So you can see my opponent is going to kind of scurry away a little bit, which is totally fine. Definitely makes sense. I'm tempted to go fly over and actually just summon some zombies like on top of these guys to block their retreat. That actually would be really good, to summon some zombies right here. And then he's not going to be able to, you know, get away from us. So he does have some Centaurs coming in. So we're going to go ahead, and it looks like they're coming in pretty hot. So what we're going to do is summon some zombies right here behind them. We'll get these skeleton spears going in as well. So they shouldn't. Oh, we kind of screwed up the zombie summon, but you see he's trying to retreat out the back now. And yeah, they're going to get like obstructed, and, you know, hopefully we can catch them and do a little bit of work. But they actually pushed through pretty effectively, guys. So yeah, so we're in okay shape here. So we're going to kind of keep advancing here, get all these troops kind of pushing up, and let's go ahead and use the Blood Chalice on Lady Karstein. So good, we're going to use it. The Blood Chalice is popped. Let's kind of keep pushing our troops up like so. Get this Mortis Engine high and tight here. And with the Cryptors, we want to just find the Gorbel basically, or Morgr or something like that. But you can see the Blood Knights and the other troops there are kind of zerging and, you know, doing pretty well, because again, Centaurs cannot stand up to those guys. So let's go ahead and get my dude over here. And yeah, it looks like they're all like completely broken. So we're going to just start summoning zombies to like obstruct things a little bit. So yeah, the Sternsmen are engaged here. The Gorbel actually got like rammed into the Shadow Realm by the what's it called. So we're going to go ahead and do that and just kind of see where we're at. The Banshee we can go ahead and send after. I think those guys do have a Primal Frenzy mechanic. So we're going to pull these in here, just kind of keep shopping around, seeing what's going on, and let's summon some zombies back here on top of these missiles as well. So good, so everything's going relatively to code. We're able to push those guys out, so we're going to kind of get these in the back and just kind of reset all our ranks. Lady Karstein's in pretty good shape after the Chalice, and we also want to use the Master Beguilement on the Giant to lower its melee attack. That's going to be nice. So we're just going to park the Mortis Engine right here. We do have our Hounds and other kind of mobile units coming over here, so what we can do, although I don't want to use the Hounds on those guys, that's kind of unfortunate, we're going to pop a fat Invocation of Nehek right here, which is going to be really, really nice. So the Banshee, let's go ahead and get it on the Gorbel, and we can run over here, and let's get the Gorbel and surrounded by Blood Knights. That's like prime time. So we're going to summon some zombies, which are going to help saturate against these Bestigors right here. That's going to be really nice. Also, we do have the Cryptors kind of coming in, and they're actually fighting Bestigors, which is really nice. So we're just going to park it right here. And the Gorbel's kind of been tied down by zombies and all kinds of other nasty business. And let's give these guys a little bit of oomph right here. So we'll push him on the Gorbel, just kind of keep lancing him. And there's no point in really landing Lady Karstein. We're going to go ahead and summon some more zombies in the back, which is going to be quite powerful. And we'll push here. Looks like we're good. We're almost out of zombie charges, though. So again, you know, my opponent's wearing through him, but still the bounce of power is kind of teetering in our favor. He does get his first summon, but we do get a great surround on the Gorbel, which is really, really nice, because that's one of my opponent's best tools. So we're going to summon some zombies right here behind the back line. Oh, no, did we screw that up? I think we just totally botched that one. But you know what, guys? It's okay. I think we're in decent shape. And actually, that's summoned right on top of him, so that's good. So we'll go ahead and pop another juicy Invocation of Nehek right here on these Blood Knights. This is a very essential battle in here, but you can see, let's get this Bray Shaman with the Lord of Death, actually. And Lady Karstein can come over here, and she will have the Chalice relatively soon. So even though I think we missed the Invocation of Nehek on her, it's going to be pretty decent. So we get a little bit of a charge. It's a little bit risky, actually, charging in there. So let's actually pull her back in the sky, and let's actually finish these Chaos Spawn off right there, which should be nice. So yeah, it looks like a lot of my opponent's line is kind of routing off here. The Banshee did a pretty good job, and let's get the Banshee on the Giant. That's going to be nice. And Skeleton Spears down here, and we have some here, so let's kind kind of path them onto the giant as well. Lady Karstein will have her chalice relatively shortly, which should be nice. And the Blood Knights are actually kind of getting pinned a little bit in here against these Chaos Spawn and some of these best scores and things. So we might actually summon one more zombie summon behind those guys, which should be fine. And it looks like we just crumbled my opponent's entire flank over here. And the Blood Chalice is going to be up in a few seconds. So let's go ahead and pop that, and we can use this on herself. And let's see the heal. So, oh yeah, she's basically already at her healing cap though, so it's not going to be that great. So Cryptors are very, very good for focusing heroic units. So we want to get it on this Spray Shaman perhaps. We have these spears and these other guys. We can get those fighting on the giant. Get the Mortis Engine over here. So this is definitely a pretty tough matchup, I would say, for the Beastmen to kind of take out the vampire counts. You can see our army's pretty durable. The missiles were, somewhat effective, but they didn't really, hit home, I would say. The Giant's kind of surrounded, and the Banshee's actually not bad against it either. And Skeleton Spears have saturated it, which is really nice. And it looks like my opponent is doing some cycle charging. So let's actually use the Master of Beguilement right there on those guys. And the Blood Knights, I really want to get out of here. I don't like that they're kind of trapped in here. It's definitely awkward. So let's path after the Spray Shaman. Let's go ahead and get him over here. Make sure to use these abilities. I'm really, really lazy about that sometimes. So, I should not have landed Lady Karstein there. That was a big mistake. So again, that could have, like, if it were a much closer game, could have like cost me the game. So you definitely, sometimes with vampire counts, guys, it's just a better idea to be conservative and just sit in the air. Is she actually, are they shooting at me, those Encores over there? That's pretty funny. But we're out of zombie summon, so we're gonna go ahead and pop Von Hall's Dance Macabre. Oh, did we actually shatter that guy? Yeah, he's just broken, so it's fine. We can kind of ignore him now. And I think he was like perpetually spirit leeching, so we can send Lady Karstein over there to kind of keep him off the battlefield. Let's get these Blood Knights and just find some juicy targets here in the forest. And it looks like we're able to kind of take everything out. So well played to my opponent. That was a fun one. So I think that was the same guy. Let's check his name. So yes, it was. So I like his build. I definitely do. The Gores in the front line definitely, most of those are zombie kills, but, we had the Mortis Engine, and we were able to force the battle we wanted. We kind of were able to corral his cav, and we pinned them, like, right away in the game. They got, like, trapped by zombies and then kind of, like, trapped in some trees. So that was a bit of an odd situation for my opponent at the end of the day, but still really, really well played, man. It was super fun. So, okay, so you know what, guys? Are you guys feeling a quadcast, like a mini stream tonight? Because I think I am. I think it's time to just get in there. My apologies, I'm just drinking a ton of hot tea, some green tea right now, just going ham in it. But yeah, having fun, experimenting with chaos builds. Chaos is so fun. I really like playing them. So let's see if we get the same guy. I hope we do, because he's a good player, and it definitely allows us to test the efficiency of builds. Because a lot of times you go into quick battles and you play players who may be new, because there's no matchmaking system really in this game, which is a little bit odd. And we are facing the mighty Artemis again. All right. So what do we want to play? So, man, he just loves that Beastmen faction. He just is going hard on that. So, all right, so what's some dudes we haven't played? So I feel like vampires would just be a little bit redundant. Greenskins could be fun. Dwarves are always a good time. Do you want to play dwarves? I feel like dwarves could be fun, but man, I feel like you guys would, if you guys were chilling here, you would want Empire, right? Empire's a little weird against Beastmen. I don't really know how to play it terribly well. So, you know what? We're actually just gonna get we'll get the Flagellants. Like here, we're going to get some halberdiers. And guys, we are not playing Balthasar Gelt, so don't get your hopes up. I know you guys want me to, but we're actually going to cut these. We're going to get Sigmar Sons, because again, just having those unbreakable units seems really, really strong. We're also going to get the Royal Altdorf Griffites and just go hard in the paint here. Although, do we want to just get some Demogryph Knights? I feel like they're probably a little bit of a safer pick. So, do we want a cannon? I feel like cannons are a little bit dicey against Beastmen because they're so aggressive, but Hammer of the Witches, man, that thing hits like a truck. So we probably need to get our Lord. So maybe, do we want to get like Volkmar the Grim or something? I feel like a Karl Franz on like a Deathclaw is just the way to go. So man, we only have 22 seconds left. So we're going to go ahead and get rid of these, which should be fine. We're also going to get Lore of Life, which I think is very, very important. So we'll put him on a flying mount as well. And let's go ahead and do that. And man, we have like no time left, guys. So let's get some great swords. Let's just get some crossbows, I guess. I don't even know. Man, this is bad. And we'll get some spears for the back line, and yeah, whatever. We just like seriously randomly picked that army in like the last 2 seconds. But you know what, guys? We're here for the fun. We're having a good time, and let's see what happens. This is not the army I would have picked if I had more time, but he like auto-locked his army really, really quickly. So yeah, what would I have done differently? I don't know. It should be okay. We got spears. We got a pretty decent little front line. We got Karl Franz. I really need to unlock Boris Todbringer though. It's pretty terrible. So all right, let's do it to it. I just heard like a thump on my roof. I wonder if someone's like stomping above me. I live in an apartment building, so perhaps I'm being loud. Although it is kind of storming outside right now. So, all right, so let's see what happens. Man, this is just a haggard army. Oh my goodness. So, okay, so in the front line, we're just going to have like an unbreakable front line. It's literally just going to fight to the bitter end, which is really nice. So aside from that, let's go ahead and put the crossbows right here. We're going to put some spears in each flank, like so. We're going to put one right here. We're going to, oh, did I accidentally put these guys where the crossbows were supposed to be? That's pretty funny. So cool. So let's go ahead and put these guys like so. We'll put the spears in the flanks here and put them here. And let's also get like one halberd in case like a Gorbel comes really aggressively. We can like corral it a little bit better. So we're going to put these guys in the back here, and we'll put the spears kind of lurking back here as well. So yeah, let's just do a double take here on the back line. So yeah, a bit of an odd army pick from me, but we also do have the greatsword. So yeah, I feel like we should maybe go a little bit wider perhaps, although then that allows the beast to like isolate us, which is another downside of things. Just kind of a free-flowing thought right now. So we'll put these guys here, and the greatswords, we'll just kind of keep them in the middle actually, and wherever the best scores go, we can like match their movement. So cool. Carl and the boys are here. The Demogryph Knights are here. They're ready to party. And you know what, guys? Let's have some fun. So we're going to queue it up and do it to it. So I haven't played a lot of Empire. I really have actually been using Arch-Lector lately. He's really fun. I don't know how I feel about him in the Beastmen matchup because I feel like a Gorbel is just going to kick his ass. But yeah, having the Unbreakable front line is pretty cool, actually. And, you know, Flagellants trade somewhat well against, like, Gores and things like that. And do they have physical resist? So they have a Frenzy mechanic, and they also have the Strength of the Penitent, which gives them 12% physical resistance. So, oh, it actually recharges if losing in melee combat. So interesting stuff, guys. Interesting. So, yeah, we got Karl Franz. We took away some abilities just to kind of cheap him down, but Blood Roar isn't terrible against the Beastmen. So, cool. So, it looks like he does have Morkur, the Shadowgave, which should do pretty well. And he does have the Goreherds with shields. He has best. So, it looks like a very similar army to what we saw before. So, we're going to use the Demogryph Knights like really defensively and just wait for some cav. And oh, look at it. He thinks he's so sneaky over here. Look at this guy. So, we actually did notice him. I'm usually really bad about noticing those type of things, but is he using a Flock of Doom? What is this? What just happened? What ability was that? I don't even know, but that actually did some okay HP damage, interestingly enough. So not enough to warrant a heal ability or like Earth Bloom or something, but still, that was, is that Vile Tide, I think? Maybe? I don't know, his caster is hidden somewhere around here, so this is actually Morkur, so he didn't cast that, obviously. So, yeah, we're just going to kind of keep cruising around, and maybe it's back here, I'm not sure, but look at him, he's so sneaky back here, man. Just getting all wild. So what he's probably going to do is like make me chase him a little bit and then, you know, try and use that time to get closer with these guys. He's probably going to try and isolate these Demogryph Knights as well, but I do have a regrowth, so I can pop a regrowth and then detach some spears or something to help. That's going to kind of be the direction we want to go. So a wild Gorbel has appeared. We do see his missiles, which is good, so definitely doing some forward scouting here. So another Vile Tide or whatever that is, that actually does some decent HP damage, guys. I'm moderately impressed with that. So we're going to keep the demis kind of high and tight. We don't want to let him get isolated back there. With Karl, we probably want to find his healer, but we have to be very cognizant of that Gorbel. Like we don't want to take that Gorbel business by any means. So so yeah, guys, this is gonna be fun. I'm excited. So how many does he have? So it looks like he has 2 Centaurs and 2 Poison Warhounds. So that's easily enough to overwhelm a Demogryph Knight, like no problem. So our missiles are almost in range. We probably want to focus. I don't want to focus the guys with shields. I mean, Bestigors won't take a ton of damage, but I still think they're a pretty decent target. Man, he is just loving that ability today, guys, which is you know, cool. Props to him for using something unique. I don't see people use that often at all. So we've uncovered some hidden foes, which is you know, a little bit spooky, but it is what it is, guys. So let's kind of get a decent little spread here. We're also going to get these guys, and you know what? We can actually focus his missiles down. That's probably like a decent thing. And over here, we'll shoot these guys, and these spears are going to go here. Let's go ahead and park these guys right here, park these right here, and keep the demis like facing this direction and just waiting for his mobile unit. So good. So the fighting has begun. It's a little bit more spread out than I would like. So let's get these guys fighting here, and we'll get these guys going after these. And Karl Franz and the boys, I honestly don't mind like landing Karl and just keeping the caster, because Karl, you know, he does cause terror and things like that, so we might be able to get some decent routing. So okay, so we want to force these guys here and just kind of form a little bit of a shield wall here, and we should be okay on all fronts. So we're going to go ahead and use a fat heal like in the center here, because again, a lot of our troops are going to take damage. Karl should do some pretty good work though, to say the least. So he's trying to find a spot, trying to find a home. We do have the Demogryph Knights like mirroring his movements, and our crossbows are trading pretty efficiently here, so definitely can't complain. But the spears do intercept these guys. It looks like he's trying to like sneak through the seam here, so let's get these guys over here and just kind of keep defending our units the best we can. So we want to check on Karl, make sure he's not, you know, taking too much damage, and he can keep working on those Bestigors. But yeah, we are faltering a little bit right here. Those Flagellants on the wings are, you know, taking a beating for sure. So we do some okay work here. So we're going to reform ranks. We don't want to overchase. That's something you need to be very, very cognizant of. And we're going to go ahead and shoot at his missiles here. These crossbows can go ahead and start shooting at these missiles over here. And Karl seems to be doing pretty well. So we're going to pull him back a little bit, because again, you guys saw that Gorbel's going in with just a rock hard one right there. So we're going to engage these guys here, get these spears set up here, and Karl's back up in the air, which is great. So we're going to go ahead and do a little bit of charging on that Gorbel, see if we can kind of knock him around a little bit, keeping these Demogryph Knights very, very defensive. And we can honestly send the spears, because his threat isn't there at the moment. So we're going to use a regrowth on Karl, because again, he is taking damage, and I don't mind if my opponent like biting the Gorbel like that. I'm completely comfortable with that. So you can see he's trying to get a little something going. So we're going to go ahead and charge, and we're going to switch that missile fire here, and we're going to switch that missile fire here, and see if we can really pressure those guys. So our crossbow is performing very well. Now we do have another Earthblood, so we're going to go ahead and pop that in the front line. keep our unbreakable troops fighting for as long as possible, and Carl is kicking the shit out of that Gorbel. That's really nice. We get a great engagement there. We're getting some good missile fire. We still do have some halberds and auxiliaries, so this is pretty good. So worst case scenario, we send the halberds up to the front, and Carl, look at him go. That Gorbel is shaking. He's just being an absolute boss right now, and the Demogryph Knights are doing a great job. Unfortunately, we do have some spears fighting over here, which isn't the best, but we've done a pretty good job this game of keeping our back line high and tight. So let's go ahead and send our wizard over there. He's not really doing anything, so we're going to reform ranks here, and we're going to pull the demis over here, and Carl is in good shape with the regrowth and those other things. He was able to kind of stabilize. So let's go ahead and pull him back, get the crossbow fire, and we want to like reform ranks a little bit. So let's kind of posture up here, get these spears, and yeah, we just need to really keep our front line intact. Like we don't want to let our opponent kind of run free and get wild. So okay, so let's go ahead and get up in the air, see if we want to charge onto this Gorbel again, and let's send these halberds in as well, and we can also send the Demogryph Knights in the front line. So good. So I think these spears should be enough to kind of fend off his mobile threats, although I don't know, I think we need to pull these guys back actually. So yeah, because he's going pretty aggressively here, and we don't want to lose those guys for free. So let's go ahead and shoot at the Gorbel right here, and Carl just got a great charge on it, and we want to intercept these Chaos Warhounds and not let them get our back line. So good. Looks like the wizard over here is doing a pretty good job. We still have a lot of frontline troops fighting, which I'm pretty confident about, and looks like the demis are good, but he does kind of get back on some. I hope these greatswords come back. They could actually like defend it. So it looks like we're about to finish off the Gorbel. My opponent, you can see he's doing like a desperate charge on Karl Franz. Like he's force pathing like all of those troops there. So the demis are able to zone. Let's get these spears right here, kind of rezone this front line. And the fact that we still have so much ammunition here is really good. So let's actually get these greatswords, and we can use them defensively for now and just charge in. So great. So Carl's in good shape. He's been able to snipe out those Gorbels. Let's go ahead and push them over there and just use these guys to intercept. Pull these guys back here, and we'll pull these demis here and these spears over here. So just doing a really defensive pocket, and it's actually working out pretty well. And man, this guy's still fighting. And yeah, so the demis charge. They're going to take a little bit of shock damage, which is unfortunate, but we're going to switch some missile fire here. Let's go ahead and switch these guys here, and these spears we can also use send over there to intercept as well. So Carl's able to kind of terror out a lot of these guys. We want to pull him up. You don't want to let Karl Franz get surrounded by any means. He does get some chaos spawn, which is pretty scary, but look at that nice crossfire from those crossbowmen, just putting those guys down. We still have a somewhat healthy group of greatswords here, which is nice. They're able to chase those guys off. So let's pull those guys back into the battle lines and see what we want to do. So where's his caster? I know he has a caster lurking somewhere in the shadows, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, we were able to force off those guys with the missiles, so we can go ahead and start shooting right now. So we want to shoot on troops that are like out in the open, that are kind of like not fully engaged yet, just so we don't like get too much friendly fire, and we're being optimal with our targeting. So let's go ahead and send Carl after like elite infantry. Focusing Morker when there's still like a lot of units left, generally in my opinion isn't the best call. So we're going to pull these demis up and around, and some of his guys do come back, but I think this single group of spears here should be enough. And we do have a nice Earthblood, so we're going to go ahead and pop that. Do we have enough to overcast it? Not quite. Okay, good. So we'll just wait a second. I think, yeah, 22 seconds, so we should get it relatively soon. Although, to be honest, I think we just need to do it right now. I don't think we can wait. So let's go ahead and just pop it right here and just use a fat heal, which is going to be nice and juicy. The Demogryph Knights, we're just kind of waiting to see, and we can actually go after these missiles and then like come around and wrap for a rear charge. So Carl and the boys doing a pretty good job. Yeah, so I think we got this game. I think it's in good shape. So we're just going to kind of ignore Morker for now and just kind of continue to ride around. The demis are going to do a good job cleaning up shop. Man, this was a super fun game. So there's this Bray Shaman with Lore of Wild. So we can actually go ahead and just get Carl and finish him off. I actually don't even remember where he was during the course of that game. But our unbreakable infantry line held, and the spears and kind of our backline troops were able to do some serious work as well. Our missiles were able to outclass his missiles, and things went pretty well for us. So let's go ahead and get these guys engaged here. We'll get these spears helping out here. These halberds can go ahead and intercept that group right there. Now we just need to kind of finish off the last of the troops, but man, the Beastmen just don't go out easily. So this Amber Wizard we want to pull out here. We want to get these Demogryph Knights out. We don't want them like engaged on spears. And in the back, it looks like we're able to deal with those guys. He does sneak around here, so let's reposture here. Let's get these spears postured there. Just kind of mirroring all of his movements, making sure we don't have any units kind of missing on the periphery of the map. And Carl and the boys are doing pretty good. Yeah, we still got some spears. We got demis kind of going ham in here, which is great. Morker is still confident though, which is a little bit unnerving. So let's actually have them go after those Bestigors with their armor piercing. So we're going to reform lines here, reform here, and we can go ahead and send our Jade Wizard after these guys, because again, he's not really going to have much healing left at all. So Carl, we want to use the AP abilities. He's working down a lot of those monsters. Those demis are charging in, getting some good rear charge action going on. Let's go ahead and use Arcane Conduit. We might actually have enough for like another regrowth or something. So let's see, what do we want to focus? He does have some missiles coming back, so we can go ahead and push over there and focus those missiles. And I think the back line is like secure enough. Like most of his stuff is routing at this point. So let's go ahead and just push in here. And yeah, let's get a Morker. So what a great battle. This was really fun. So Demogryph Knight's still steady. I would love to get another regrowth on those guys actually, but I think we've dealt with most of the Chaos Spawn. Morker is not in a good way. So yeah, guys, the Haggard Chaos build obviously didn't work, but this Empire build and then the build from the last game seemed to work pretty well. So cool. Very cool stuff. Yeah, definitely some good battles against the Shadow Gave today. Yeah, very, very fun stuff. So let's kind of turn our missiles around here, get them postured so they can shoot in the appropriate direction. A nice little cycle charging from the Wizard over here, so we can have him go after the Bray Shaman. Morker is finally dying, so he's getting the circle beating, and Karl Franz does hit pretty hard. So let's also, the Demogryph Knights, we want to just use them to like actually get a charge bonus on things. So we'll use the leadership from Karl, just kind of continue focusing over here, and it looks like all of his army is shattering at this point. So very, very well played to my opponent. It was super fun. So yeah. Let's go ahead and look. So that build actually worked. The Flagellants and Sigmar's Sons held the front line. The Halberds and Spears were excellent in the back. They were able to mitigate a lot of his mobile threats. And Demi's obviously MVP. So yeah, and Karl was able to just kick the shit out of the Gorbel. The important thing with Karl and Flying Mounts is making sure he doesn't overextend and just, take a beating in that respect. So, but yeah, let's see. So his arm, I liked his army actually. I do like it. It looks very similar to an army I would have brought. The Lore of Wild was pretty decent for that initial harass, but I don't know if it was the best, but very cool innovation, man. So well played to my opponent, Artemis and Treri. Look forward to seeing you again on ladder, and I hope you guys enjoyed that quad cast. Have an excellent night, and take care.